So I'm sure you've heard the term range anxiety before, and it probably doesn't mean all that much to you unless you've had the semi-terrifying experience of traveling long distances with an EV. All right, real quick, Tesla is sort of immune here because of their simply amazing supercharger network. Now, this video isn't about charging or charging networks, but I do have to say something. Every charging network other than Tesla's is just a flaming pile of horse manure in a closed and poorly ventilated indoor space. Yes, it's that bad. You simply just cannot trust the other guy's chargers to work, which is a real shame. And this is why range is important. If we had a serious charging network that worked, was quick and available more or less whenever you wanted to charge, then yeah, all good. No need for these mega batteries. But until that happens, and it will, just not anytime soon, we're gonna need some serious range, at least as an option. What's up, Motorheads, and welcome back to Gearbox Pizza. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at some seriously cool and exciting battery breakthroughs. We're not talking incremental here, we're talking about doubling range. And this isn't some vaporware, paper mache, one-person enclosed scooter sort of thing that's driven by an 11-year-old or horse jockey equivalent. Here, we're talking about a big boy electric SUV with, well, a big boy grille, and that's the BMW iX. So the iX is a very capable EV already and can get you roughly 300 miles with a battery that's already in it. But that's where this Michigan battery startup called R Next Energy comes in. These crazy fellas will be replacing the battery that's in the iX with one of their own, and bam, how's 600 plus miles of range sound to you? All right, yep, so talk is cheap, I know, and normally I'd be shrugging this thing off as another clickbaity sort of crapshoot, but these guys appear to be for real, and I'll tell you why. A few months ago, I saw this story about these fellas that swapped out the battery from a Tesla Model S and then proceeded to drive it for 752 miles. You heard me right, and then, for our pals across the pond, that's 1,210 kilometers, all on a single charge. So yes, this very well may be the real deal, and it's actually pretty exciting. Alright, so modern EV batteries are surprisingly complex, and to be honest, my head sort of hurts a bit right now after trying to get this all figured out and translated in a way that might make some sense, but then I thought, does it even matter all that much? Do you really care that much about the intricacies of battery chemistry and why this new battery has so much new potential? Alright, yeah, I sort of do, but we're just going to hit the highlights here. Otherwise, most of us, myself included, will be sound asleep dreaming of V12 Ferraris, old school bobbers, and I don't know, early retirement. Okay, so broad strokes time, and forgive me if I butcher this, as I am not the smartest dude you know, I promise you that, and they certainly won't claim to be. Anyway, these madmen are using a dual chemistry setup that's referring to the pairing of two different types of battery cells, each of them with a different purpose. You've got the traction cells that use a lithium iron phosphate cathode that's known to have a lower energy density than chemistries based on cobalt, nickel, manganese, or aluminum. What's cool here is that these are cheaper and easier to produce. Then you've got the long range portion of the battery that uses a higher density chemistry based on some magical proprietary material that's rich in manganese while using very little cobalt and nickel. And alright, that's about as far into the science as I'd like to go, and I really hope I didn't lose many of you. Anyway, this new battery, which these fellas are calling Gemini, well, it's going to start serious testing later this year in a very special BMW iX or even several iXs. Why BMW, you ask? Well, as it turns out, BMW's investment arm wrote a check for 25 mil and slid it slowly across the table. Or at least that's how it'll be portrayed in the made-for-TV movie that this is, well, it's not going to be a movie. What am I talking about? Okay, what's amazing here is that the physical space will remain the same. It's just the energy density that'll double. And there's two ways to look at this. First, and the more headline attractive angle, is by having EVs, even big SUV EVs, that'll be able to go over 600 miles on a single charge, with smaller and lighter cars going even further. If that Lucid Air can go just over 500 miles already, dare I say a 1,000-mile battery using this technology is somewhere in sight. All right, cool. More miles is more better, obviously, but do you know what else is better? And quite frankly, much more exciting when you really think about it? All right, Forget about adding range. Let's look at the i4 for example. Now, by all measures, it's a sporty and quick fella, quicker in many tests than the Model 3 Performance, and just like the Model 3, there's an issue, a big issue when it comes to electric sports cars, and it's that they're pigs. Big, fat, heavy pigs. Now, the programming wizards can do remarkable things with software, that is for sure, but there's just no beating physics. I mean, imagine an i4 or a Model 3 Performance with a battery that's half the size and more importantly, half the weight. The battery pack on the Model 3 tips the scales at over 1,000 pounds, and I'm guessing the BMW's battery comes in at about the same weight. Now, cut it in half and retain the same range, and now you'll start to really be able to make some seriously sweet electric sports cars. When it comes to driving hard in the twisties or the track, weight is sort of everything. Alright, let's think even smaller. Let's talk about something like the Porsche Cayman for example. With technology like this, a small, lightweight, and powerful battery shoved in there with decent range? Sign me up. Alright, so bottom line time, the world is moving electric and we'll need more breakthroughs just like this to accelerate the change. And this is just the beginning. I mean, just look how far gas engines have come over the last 100 years. I mean, what can I say? It's just a very exciting time to be a motorhead, gas or electric.